So since the trade deadline, news has actually slowed up quite a bit in the NBA space. Like, I mean, there's been a couple of big things, like we're saying that LaMarcus Aldridge unfortunately had to retire due to a problem with his heart. Really, really unfortunate, really upsetting as well. But again, the news has kind of been very, very slow. We've heard some Kawhi Leonard news here and there, you know, with teams such as the Miami Heat, but in more recently, some news that has actually kind of gone out and has been highly speculated on very recently is the fact that the Warriors are expected to pursue Kawhi Leonard in free agency if he is open up to leaving the Clippers, and this is all being reported by Evan Macy. Of course, so many other reporters have kind of talked about this. It's absolutely insane. I've had you Golden State Warriors fans in my comments for literally years now at this point, telling me that Kawhi Leonard will eventually be a Warrior, and I've never believed you guys, and honestly, I still don't believe you guys. I'm going to be completely honest here. I think Kawhi Leonard is most likely staying with the Clippers. I think we all know this at this point. He will most likely not be leaving the Clippers. It wouldn't make exactly any sense for him to leave the Clippers. You know, of course, I will get into it later on why he could potentially join the Golden State Warriors, what the possibilities are, what would the Warriors do to get into the team, etc. But first of all, I just wanted to put it out there that I don't actually think Kawhi Leonard will leave the Los Angeles Clippers, especially for the Golden State Warriors. I think that out of every team, I feel like Golden State are probably the favorite to get him if he does leave the Clippers. I just don't think he will. I think Kawhi Leonard, you know, he loves it in LA. It's where he's from. The reason he wanted to move to, well, California's of course where he's from. But again, more specifically the LA area. The reason he wanted to move to the Clippers and leave a franchise, you know, that just actually won a championship with him on the team in the Toronto Raptors was because he wanted to come home. He wanted his family to return to LA, and again, that's why he went to the Clippers. That makes the most amount of sense. I know that the Clippers haven't exactly had the most recent amount of success, and again, they haven't been great. We've had some iffy Paul George moments in the playoffs that I think some people would kind of like to ignore and kind of forget about, if we're completely being honest here. But again, Kawhi Leonard does seem to be pretty happy. Doesn't seem like the type of guy, I don't think, to necessarily go and chase that success. Like, look, I'm not saying Kawhi doesn't love winning, which of course I'm sure he does. That's why most people play basketball. But it's more as if that I think he knows there is a huge chance he could still one day win a championship on the LA Clippers, and it is extremely possible for him to do so. So again, I think he will kind of hold put with the LA Clippers for the time being, and probably sign a big 4-year extension, if I'm being completely honest. But that doesn't mean he won't look at the potential teams that he could go to. And one team that I feel like is a very big possibility is, of course, the Golden State Warriors. And the reason I say the Golden State Warriors could be a very, very big possibility is the fact that the team is in California. I think that if he is going to leave the Clippers, it will be for a team in California. One team that I've actually spoken about in previous videos that I think would be pretty cool for Kawhi Leonard to join. Now, I know some of you guys might actually laugh at me for saying this, and I don't blame you. It is a very bizarre thing, but a team that's currently in California right now that hasn't won really anything for a huge amount of years is the Sacramento Kings. For some reason, Kawhi Leonard going there would just be cool to me. I don't know why, but of course he's not going to leave the Clippers to go to Sacramento. I mean, look, let's be honest here. No offense, Sacramento fans, but who's going to leave a good team to go to Sacramento, right? That's just not happening, and that applies for a lot of teams in the NBA. And again, he's not going to go to LA, you wouldn't think, because they already have AD, LeBron. That doesn't seem like a Kawhi thing to do. He probably would have done that a couple years ago if that was a Kawhi thing to do. But again, you leave that two options in California, and that is the Clippers, who he is already on, or, of course, the Golden State Warriors. And it's been rumored that Steph Curry has been looking for a very high-profile second star to join him for a little bit. And considering Clay's been out for quite a bit, I feel like Curry does need some help. We've seen that LeBron and Curry talks have been all over the place. Like, I mean, I don't even know what's going on there. Look, he's not got Kawhi. You know, Curry's not going to the Lakers, and LeBron's not going to the Warriors. I've seen people been saying that online. They're both contracted for a long time. That's not going to happen. Please stop talking about it. But again, those rumors are pretty fake, and nothing's going to be happening there. So I wouldn't really worry about it too much. But again, when we look at this, I think that Kawhi Leonard to the Warriors would be a pretty cool thing. I mean, to have a Kawhi Leonard and Steph Curry duo would be one really nice thing, but to see him kind of go with Klay Thompson as well, who hasn't really played basketball in a fair while. He's been, you know, injured, I believe Achilles and ACL injury, hasn't really played in 2 years. I think it'd be really cool to potentially see, you know, Klay Thompson maybe even make his comeback. And again, we could see a kind of team of Klay Thompson, Kawhi Leonard, and Steph Curry. That'd be a really nice big three. I'm sure Draymond would, of course, be on that team still. And, of course, you'd also have James Wiseman, who would be returning back from an injury that he's kind of had. I forgot what it was, but he's had a pretty bad injury. Not just that, he's been pretty inconsistent in his first year. I expect a huge jump in his second year. We saw Darius Garland make a huge jump in his second year, and I think James Wiseman, one of those guys that had a pretty similar first season of Garland, where they just, you know, had a couple injuries here and there, and they'd come off an injured college season. Or again, if James Wiseman's case, I think he actually chose to sit out or something like that. But again, they both barely played in their college season. They pretty much went from high school straight to the NBA. So I think James Wiseman will have a huge jump, exactly how like Darius Garland did. So I wouldn't give up hope on him just yet, Warriors fans, because I think that is possibly going to happen. And then we could see a really cool starting five of Steph Curry at point guard, Klay Thompson at shooting guard, Kawhi Leonard at small forward, Draymond Green at power forward, James Wiseman at center, something like that. And I think that would be a kind of cool thing. But here's the issue with James Wiseman and the Golden State Warriors that I have yet to talk about. If Kawhi Leonard does somehow get to the Warriors, which again at the start of the video I did say Kawhi Leonard will be a Clipper. I see him re-signing long term. I don't see him leaving. But again, let's just say in some weird world Kawhi Leonard did go to the Golden State Warriors. It would have to be a sign and trade because the Warriors are extremely screwed when it does come to their cap scenario. So again, what it would most likely be would probably be something like Andrew Wiggins would, of course, have to be in the deal. I think Kawhi Leonard will be looking for about a $40 million type deal, 40 to 45 million. I think it'll be around 40 million. So you got Andrew Wiggins, who's on 30 million. I think Kelly Oubre will be thrown into it. I know he will be a free agent, but it'll probably be a sign and trade where Kelly Oubre will, of course, go on 10 million a season. Again, this is also to mention as well that considering the Clippers gave up like a crap ton of first round picks to get Paul George to the team, they're going to want to still get a lot of good players and contend for the next couple of years and have a bunch of picks. So again, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre will both be on there. Young players like Eric Pascal, Jordan Poole, they will both, of course, be on there. I'd say about 4 to 6 future first round picks. Of course, it won't be 8 future first round picks like Harden because, again, this is a sign and trade. Harden's was just a normal trade. So, again, it'd probably be like 6 future first round picks, 4 to 6, I'd probably say. Again, you'd have Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, Eric Pascal, and Jordan Poole. That probably gets the deal done because you don't see teams overpay for sign and trade deals very often. We saw Jimmy Butler go for Josh Richardson not so long ago. So again, sign and trades are completely different than normal trades. The value is so much less, which is, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Because if Kawhi really wanted to leave, he could just go to a team that has a lot of cap. But of course, he wants to get to a certain team that doesn't have cap, so it'd have to be a sign and trade. I don't think James Wiseman would be in this deal. I think he would remain on the Golden State Warriors. But of course, the Clippers, who have Kawhi Leonard pretty much contracted, would pretty much say that, hey, you gotta give up James Wiseman or we're not making this trade happen. So it would, yeah, again, realistically, James Wiseman would probably be in that tier alongside Eric Pascal and Jordan Poole. But again, that's just how it is. We all know this by now. And 4 to 6 future first round picks is absolutely, it would be a pretty nice haul for the Clippers. And I'm assuming they would probably trade Paul George. I don't know who to. I'm guessing to a team that would be looking to give up about 4 future first round picks. And you could say that Paul George is not worth that. Look, you're absolutely joking, because yes, he doesn't show up in the playoffs. He is still one of the best regular season players and has been having an absolutely great year. So you're probably looking for about 4 future first round picks and a couple of nice role players or young players, which they could probably get out of a team like the Miami Heat. That's just how it is. I think Paul George would, yeah, he'd probably get traded as well. Let's just say he got traded to the Miami Heat for 4 future first round picks. Kendrick Nunn probably would be in there, Duncan Robinson as well, and Precious Achiuwa would all be in there. You'd be looking at a pretty weird starting 5 if you're the Clippers. They probably would trade Beverly and etc. Away. Serge Ibaka as well, who I believe is on a player or team option, I think. I don't even know. He's on some option. They'd probably trade him away as well. Again, so many players would get traded. Rondo would probably get traded. And then probably would be looking at like a really young team with, like, you know, Kendrick Nunn at point guard, Andrew Wiggins at shooting guard, Kelly Oubre at small forward, probably like Pascal at power forward. Yeah, who even knows? Achiuwa at center. I don't even know. So many players I've suggested we go on that team. I can't even think of everyone off the top of my head. And a bunch of first round picks. But of course, none of this is really going to happen. We know that Kawhi Leonard is going to stay with the LA Clippers. It's most likely going to be happening. I think the betting odds would probably be like 99% he's going to stay with the Clippers. And we've also heard the Miami Heat are extremely interested as well. But considering it seems like he's made a home in California, I would say that the Miami Heat are probably going to be ruled out. I don't think he's going to leave California for Miami. But again, one team that no one's talking about, which I think have a 0.1%, is probably like the Sacramento Kings. If somehow Kawhi Leonard is truly unhappy on the Clippers, Sacramento probably won't make him any more happier. But hey, they're going to be an option because they're a California team. And so are the Lakers. Like, I mean, I kind of just talked about how the Lakers won't happen. But what if he has changed his mind? What if he does want to go play with LeBron and AD? Who knows? That might happen. But that's probably a 0.1% chance as well. I'd probably say it's like a 0.1% chance for Sacramento, a 0.1% chance for the Lakers, probably like a 0.5% chance for the, you know, Heat, like a 0.5% chance for the Warriors, and the rest is like 98 to 99%. He's probably going to stay with the Clippers. And then again, I think they're going to get their stuff sorted. I feel like they're one Kyle Lowry away from being a contender. And it would be pretty interesting to see them, you know, really contend. I feel like they're not on the same level as Lakers and Nets right now, just because they don't have like a Kyle Lowry type of guy. You know, they brought in Rondo, but I could see them trading like Luke Kennard and Marcus Morris in a sign and trade to get Kyle Lowry in free agency. And then I think they'd look to go get some other players back here and there as well. You know, some nice, like Nicholas Batum type of guys who, you know, veterans who might want to come on the minimum, something like that. That could be a very, very interesting thing that I could potentially see here and there as well. But again, as I said, will any of this happen? No, he's going to stay with the Clippers. I really don't understand the probability of this happening. I think it is so slim that I even contemplated making these videos. Even though there is confirmed interest, it still does give me the kind of, you know, ifs about it, you know, talking about it, because it's just like how unlikely something like this is to happen. But of course, a lot of you guys are interested. A lot of you Warriors fans are probably going, when you heard me say 0.1%, you're probably like, so you're telling me there's a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Because, hey, there is a chance. For all we know, anything can happen in the NBA. This is the NBA. Anything can happen. I mean, if Kevin Love's currently stealing $30 million a season from the Cleveland Cavaliers, anything can happen. I'm telling you guys right now. So, I wouldn't rule it out if I was Warriors fans, but I also wouldn't really think about it too much because, again, this is a very, very unlikely thing to potentially happen. But of course, I would very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys think the Golden State Warriors should, of course, potentially go out you know, and try and get Kawhi Leonard? Do you guys think there is any chance of, you know, Kawhi Leonard potentially joining the Golden State Warriors? Of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRL/vlog channels. And don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. But as I was saying, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. It took me a lot of time and effort to make this one, so I would really like to hear all of your thoughts down below. But as I was saying, leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.